You believe you are free. You believe your choices are your own. Yet every move you make has already been anticipated. Every desire shaped before you even felt it. Every rebellion quietly absorbed and neutralized. You stand on the battlefield of life without armor, convinced the war does not exist, while enemies sharpen their blades in plain sight. You were taught to obey, to believe in fairness, to cling to illusions of goodness and morality that keep you docile, predictable, easy to command, and so you march in chains. Though you see no iron, your shackles are ideas, invisible, weightless, but stronger than steel. That is why you lose. That is why you are powerless. You tell yourself the world rewards honesty, that loyalty is repaid, that kindness returns in kind, and yet your honesty is used against you, your loyalty exploited, your kindness trampled. You are played like a pawn because you mistake weakness for virtue and manipulation for evil. You cling to ideals, invented to keep you harmless, while those who rule know only strategy, only advantage, only the ruthless pursuit of power. They see you for what you are, prey. A soldier without a sword, a commander without troops, a king without a crown. You are conquered before you even take the field. Listen carefully. I will not soothe you. I will not lie to you. I will not pat your head with comforting myths. I will speak as Machiavelli, the strategist who watched rulers rise like flames and fall into ash, who whispered truths so sharp they bled those foolish enough to grasp them. I will strip the illusions from your eyes and leave you with nothing but the cold mechanics of power. If you cannot endure it, you may leave. But if you remain, you will see the battlefield as it is, not as you wish it to be. You will see yourself stripped of excuses, and you will be forced to choose, remain a pawn or rise as a player. You have been blind because you were conditioned to blindness. Since birth, you have been trained in obedience disguised as morality. You were told to trust, to follow, to hope. You were told that humility is noble, that submission is holy, that patience is rewarded. Lies. Every lesson you absorbed was a psychological operation designed to weaken you, to strip you of tactical awareness, to make you serve without realizing you serve. The supply lines of your mind have been cut, leaving you starving for strength, but grateful for crumbs. You have been taught to kneel, not to stand. Consider why you admire those who dominate you. Celebrities, leaders, billionaires. They do not play by the rules you cling to. They violate them, bend them, weaponize them. They smile at you while calculating your worth as a tool, and still you worship them, because deep down you know they possess what you lack: the will to seize, to command, to manipulate reality rather than be manipulated. You resent their power while secretly longing for it. Yet longing is nothing. Discipline is everything. They move with strategy. You move with hope. On the battlefield of power, hope is suicide. The truth is simple. Power has laws. They are not written in holy books, not carved in marble, not taught in your schools. They are laws of psychology, of human weakness, of perception and deception. I call them laws because to ignore them is to perish. They govern every relationship, every negotiation, every hierarchy. They determine who commands and who obeys. And you have broken them all without knowing it. That is why you serve instead of rule. Do you think you are free to speak? Then ask yourself why your tongue trembles when you oppose authority. Do you think your thoughts are your own? Then ask why your desires mirror the fashions, the slogans, the trends whispered into your ears by unseen architects. You are not an individual. You are a formation on the battlefield, herded and positioned like infantry in the service of others. Your generals are merchants, politicians, priests, bosses. Lovers, each issuing commands. You obey without question. And you, unarmed, do not even recognize it as war. But I tell you, this is war. Life has always been war. Not with swords and cannons, but with perception, influence, fear, desire. The battlefield is invisible because it is psychological. Armies march not across fields but across minds. The strongest weapon is not steel, but strategy. And you have never studied the enemy's playbook. You wander through the smoke of combat with your chest open, thinking your sincerity protects you. Sincerity is not armor. It is a target painted on your heart. You remain weak because weakness is comfortable. To rise in power requires discipline, the willingness to sacrifice illusions, the courage to see humanity as it is, not as you want it to be. That means recognizing that people are selfish, fearful, ambitious, vain, and easily deceived. It means seeing that alliances are fragile, loyalty conditional, morality flexible. It means admitting that love and trust can be weapons, sharper than any blade, and often wielded against you. You refuse to see this because you prefer the lie of safety. But safety is the first illusion I must shatter. You are never safe. You are either predator or prey. If you do not choose, the choice is made for you. I once warned rulers that it is better to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. You were horrified, because you fear what you must become. But I tell you now, if you are only loved, you will be used. If you are only feared, you will be resisted. Power requires the balance, the ability to inspire devotion while instilling dread. You must become the commander who commands because obedience feels inevitable. That is not cruelty, it is clarity. For those who hesitate on the battlefield are the first to die. Every day you sabotage yourself. You speak too much, revealing your plans before they are formed. You trust too quickly, handing your enemy the map to your camp. You let emotions rule you. Rushing into battles you cannot win. You waste energy chasing approval instead of consolidating control. You are soft when you should be ruthless, distracted when you should be disciplined, reactive when you should be calculating. You are not a commander, you are a soldier stumbling without orders. Easy prey for those who issue them. Understand this, the cost of remaining naive is not small. It is everything. You will lose your opportunities, your dignity, your autonomy. You will work for others while your dreams wither. You will give loyalty to leaders who see you as expendable. You will age in obedience, realizing too late that your life was not your own, but a campaign fought for the gain of others. The enemy does not need to kill you. They need only keep you blind until you waste yourself. That is the price of passivity. Slow death in service of the strong. So I offer you new comfort. Only strategy. Power is not given, it is taken. Control is not granted, it is seized. You must become ruthless in observation, disciplined in silence, relentless in calculation. You must learn to move as a commander, not as a follower. That means mastering deception, withholding intentions, controlling appearances. It means flanking enemies with subtlety instead of charging headlong into their defenses. It means conserving strength, building alliances, breaking them when necessary. Never attaching yourself so tightly that you cannot maneuver. You must learn to play the long campaign, where patience becomes a weapon sharper than the sword. The first transformation is internal. Stop seeking approval. Stop needing validation. Every time you bend to please, you weaken your command. Approval is a leash around your neck. Cut it. Your worth is not determined by their applause, but by your ability to maneuver without begging for it. Machiavellian strategy dictates that perception is everything, but understand this. Perception must be controlled, not depended upon. You shape how others see you, but you never rely on their affection. Affection shifts like the wind. Command endures. You must also master silence. Words are ammunition. Spend them carelessly, and you disarm yourself. Every confession, every explanation, every justification is reconnaissance handed to your enemy. Speak less than necessary. Observe more than you reveal. Let them wonder what you think. Let them guess your intentions. Let them fill the silence with their own weakness. Commanders win not by shouting, but by knowing when to hold their tongue until the strike is decisive. Discipline is your chain of command. Without it, you collapse under pressure. You must treat your life as a campaign. Time is your supply line. Energy your troops. Attention your cavalry. Do not squander them on trivial battles. Most wars are distractions, traps to drain your resources. Choose only battles that consolidate power. Retreat when the ground is unfavorable. Advance only when victory strengthens your position. Indulge in neither pride nor anger. They are mutinies of the mind. A commander who loses discipline loses the war before it begins. This is the battlefield you refuse to see. It is not fair. It is not merciful. It does not reward virtue. It rewards strategy. Those who grasp this rise. Those who ignore it fall. You have been falling all your life. Now you stand at the edge of the abyss. Forced to choose, continue as prey, or awaken as predator. I will not drag you. I will not persuade you. I present the battlefield. The rest is yours. You want comfort, but comfort is poison. You want fairness, but fairness is a myth whispered to the weak, so they do not revolt. You want to believe that morality restrains the powerful, but morality is a mask worn when it is useful and discarded when it is not. You must stop clinging to illusions. Illusion keep you chained. Clarity, though it cuts, is liberation. On the battlefield, clarity is the only weapon that keeps you alive when others fall blind into ambush. You have been blind because you trusted appearances. You saw smiling faces and thought they meant friendship. You heard words of loyalty and thought they meant devotion. You saw kindness and thought it meant sincerity. But appearances are disguises, camouflage on the field of power. What you see is what they want you to see. Their words are propaganda. Their smiles, psychological warfare. Their gestures, tools of manipulation. And you soft, trusting, eager believe them. You walk willingly into traps. You hand your enemy your weapon and then weep when they stab you. This is your weakness. You mistake the theater of power for truth. Power is theater, and you must learn to perform. Influence is not about truth, but perception. Victory is not about fairness, but control. The ruler who survives is the ruler who manipulates appearances with precision. They hide their intentions. They mask their weaknesses. They project strength even when they are vulnerable. They spread rumors. They plant ideas. They orchestrate illusions so that their enemies fight shadows while their true hand remains hidden. This is strategy, and you naive, clumsy, loud reveal your heart before the battle begins. You are defeated before you fight. Consider why commanders conceal troop movements. Why spies spread misinformation. Why generals feign retreat to lure enemies into ambush. These are not tricks, they are necessities. War is deception. Power is no different. You must learn to mislead, to feign weakness, to conceal strength, to strike when least expected. If you march with your banners high and your intentions obvious, you will be surrounded and crushed. The battlefield does not forgive the fool who confuses transparency with strength. You resist this truth because you want to believe in your innocence. You want to think yourself above strategy, above deception, above manipulation. You call it immoral. I call it survival. Morality has never stopped a knife in the dark, never shielded a king from betrayal, never preserved a soldier's life when the supply lines collapsed. Morality is a story for peasants. Strategy is the only morality of rulers. You may resist this, but the world does not bend to your resistance. It consumes the unprepared without mercy. I have watched rulers fall because they trusted their friends more than their enemies. I have seen alliances crumble because a commander believed loyalty was eternal. I have seen empires collapse because leaders thought justice guaranteed obedience. They all perished. Those who survived did so because they embraced strategy over sentiment, because they saw human beings not as noble creatures, but as selfish animals driven by fear, greed, and vanity. You must learn to see the same. Strip away the illusions. Study the motives. Understand the appetites of those around you. Then you will no longer be surprised when they betray you, for you will have already calculated it into your strategy. You wonder why you remain subordinate. It is because you do not calculate. You react. You wait for others to act and then respond with emotion, with confusion, with desperation. You are always one move behind, always flanked, always on the defensive. A commander without initiative is not a commander but a casualty. Power belongs to those who plan 3 moves ahead, who set traps before the enemy even knows there is a game. You do not plan. You hope. And hope is not strategy. Hope is the surrender of strategy. If you want power, you must begin to think like a commander. Imagine your life as a campaign. Every relationship is an alliance or a rivalry. Every conversation is reconnaissance. Every opportunity is territory to be seized or defended. Every weakness you show is a gap in your fortifications. Every strength you display is a deterrent or a bait. You must move deliberately, as if the battlefield is always shifting, because it is. You must assume betrayal, because betrayal is inevitable. You must prepare contingencies, because no plan survives first contact with the enemy. You must cultivate patience, because wars are not won in days, but in campaigns. This is the cold discipline of power. You resist because it is uncomfortable. You resist because you want life to be simple, fair, forgiving. It is not. Life is complex, brutal, merciless. If you cannot accept this, then abandon the idea of power. Live as a pawn and be content. But if you remain here, if you listen to me, then I demand you burn the illusions that keep you chained. Burn the fantasy of fairness. Burn the belief that kindness protects you. Burn the notion that honesty is always strength. Burn the lie that loyalty is eternal. Only then will you stand clear-eyed on the battlefield, stripped of false armor, ready to build true defenses. The heavy cost of remaining naive is this: you will always serve another's command. You will always carry the weight of someone else's ambition. You will always fight battles that profit others, never yourself. You will spend your energy feeding supply lines that do not belong to you. And when you are exhausted, they will discard you like a broken sword. This is not speculation, it is certainty. Look at your own life. Count the times you have given and received nothing. Count the times you have trusted and been betrayed. Count the times you have worked and another has profited. Still you resist. Still you tell yourself it will change. It will not. Unless you change, unless you Zeitzer command, you want transformation. You imagine it as peace, as harmony, as self-love. Nonsense. Transformation is discipline. Transformation is strategy. Transformation is the ruthless abandonment of weakness and the calculated adoption of power. You must train your mind as a general trains soldiers. Repetition, drilling, punishment for error, reward for discipline. You must think every day in terms of tactics, what to reveal, What to conceal, who to approach, who to avoid, when to strike, when to retreat. You must view your emotions as mutinous soldiers, useful when disciplined, dangerous when uncontrolled. You must impose command on yourself before you can impose command on others. Machiavellian strategy dictates that perception is reality, but reality itself is perception. People do not obey the truth. They obey what they believe to be true. Therefore, control belief. You must learn to project the image of strength, even when you are weak. The image of calm, even when you are enraged. The image of loyalty, even when you are planning betrayal. This is not hypocrisy. It is strategy. The commander who reveals everything invites invasion. The commander who controls appearances dictates the battlefield without lifting a sword. This is why rulers surround themselves with spectacle. Why leaders cultivate myth. Why generals spread propaganda. It is not vanity. It is control. They know that the army marches not only on supply lines of food, but on supply lines of belief. Morale is as powerful as steel. And so they manipulate perception, fuel illusions, project inevitability. You must do the same. If you appear powerful, others will treat you as powerful. If you appear weak, others will test you until you collapse. Power flows not from truth, but from perception. Zeit's a perception, and you Zeit's a reality. You think this is cruel. It is not cruelty. It is necessity. The battlefield is merciless. It does not care for your intentions, only your execution. A single mistake, a word spoken too freely, a secret revealed, a weakness exposed can collapse your position in an instant. A commander who fails in vigilance pays with his army's blood. You pay with your life, your freedom, your dignity. Do not delude yourself. The enemy is watching. Always. You may not know their names, but they exist. They measure your every move, waiting for a gap. Give them none. This is why I tell you to adopt discipline as your weapon, deception as your shield, patience as your cavalry. Build alliances strategically, not emotionally. Break them when they no longer serve. Protect your independence above all. Never let another hold the keys to your supply lines. Cultivate unpredictability so that no enemy can map your strategy. Move with silence. Strike with precision. Withdraw with calm. This is how power is seized, how empires are built, how rulers endure. And yet, even as you hear me, part of you resists. Part of you whispers that you want to remain good, that you want to avoid manipulation, that you want to rise without blood on your hands. Fool, you will never rise if you cling to purity. You will only be exploited by those who do not hesitate. They will bleed you dry while you congratulate yourself on your goodness. You will be righteous and powerless, moral and enslaved. If that is the life you want, then stop here. But if you want command, then silence the voice of weakness. Accept the battlefield as it is. Embrace the ruthless clarity of power. You want to believe you can wait for the right moment, that fate will deliver opportunity to your doorstep. Fate delivers nothing. Opportunity must be manufactured. Strategy dictates that you seize the initiative, that you position yourself before the terrain favors you, that you prepare before your enemies even realize there is a campaign. Waiting is surrender. Every day you wait, another commander fortifies their position. Another rival sharpens their blade. Another manipulator secures loyalty that could have been yours. By the time you act, the battlefield is already lost. The world does not reward patience, it devours it. You waste energy seeking fairness. But fairness is an invention of the weak to beg protection from the strong. The battlefield has no fairness. It has only advantage. Either you exploit it, or you are exploited. You tell yourself you are a good person, that you would rather lose than manipulate. That is not nobility. That is cowardice dressed as virtue. To lose willingly is to betray yourself. To refuse to use strategy is to abandon your own command. You pretend morality guides you, but in truth, fear does. You are afraid of being seen as ruthless, afraid of being judged, afraid of becoming what you secretly admire. Fear is your prison. Break it or remain a slave. Power is not given to those who deserve it. Power is taken by those who prepare for it. You were told to wait your turn, to earn recognition, to trust that effort is rewarded. Lies. Recognition is granted when you command perception. Effort is wasted when it does not translate into influence. A soldier can fight bravely on the field and still be forgotten if the general takes the glory. That is your life. You fight, you work, you bleed, and someone else takes the crown. They do not fight harder, they fight smarter. They understand that power belongs to those who control appearances, not to those who merely labor. And you, faithful worker, tireless soldier, are discarded when you are no longer useful. If you do not seize command of your own campaign, you will always be a footnote in the victories of others. You must learn to weaponize weakness. Not your own, but theirs. Every rival has flaws, appetites, vulnerabilities. Pride blinds them. Vanity exposes them. Fear controls them. Your task is reconnaissance, to observe, to record, to study until you know their supply lines better than they do. The general who knows the enemy's hunger can starve him. The commander who knows the enemy's pride can bait him into reckless advance. The strategist who knows the enemy's secret can destroy him without lifting a sword. But you do not study. You rush. You react. You assume. And so you miss the cracks in the walls, the gaps in the chain of command, the hidden rot that could have been your weapon. You must learn to see with ruthless clarity, to treat every word, every gesture, every silence as intelligence, because it is. Do not think this is only for kings or soldiers. It is for you, your workplace, your relationships, your friendships. All are battlefields. Your boss manipulates your ambition to extract more labor. Your partner tests your boundaries to see if you will surrender. Your friends compete subtly for status, attention, influence. You call it daily life. I call it war disguised. If you do not see it, you will always be a soldier following someone else's banner. If you see it, if you study it, if you maneuver, you can shift the balance and become the commander of your own ground. You must abandon the lie of equality. People are not equal. They differ in strength, in intelligence, in discipline, in cunning. Pretending otherwise weakens you. Treating others as if they will restrain themselves, as you restrain yourself, is suicide. Some men live as predators, some as prey, some as commanders, some as conscripts. The only equality is death. Until then, the battlefield decides. If you cling to equality, you disarm yourself. You must accept hierarchy. Accept that people are always ranking, measuring, judging. Better to command that hierarchy than to be buried in it. I once said that men are driven by two great forces, fear and self-interest. If you do not control these forces, someone else will. Look at your life. How many of your choices were made out of fear? Fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being alone? How many were made out of self-interest but not yours? Theirs, you bend to avoid conflict. You surrender to avoid discomfort. You obey to avoid exclusion. That is not choice. That is submission to Zeitzer power. You must invert this dynamic. You must become the one who awakens fear and directs self-interest. Make others afraid to lose your favor. Make them see that serving you serves them. When their fear and their self-interest align with your command, you will not need to demand obedience. It will be given. You fail because you underestimate the psychological battlefield. You think words are just words. Gestures, just gestures. Timing, just timing. No, they are weapons. The right phrase can destroy a reputation. The right silence can create dread. The right delay can exhaust an opponent. The battlefield is not physical, it is psychological attrition. Who can endure uncertainty longer? Who can sow doubt more effectively? Who can appear inevitable? Untouchable. Unbreakable. That is where wars are won. And yet you spill your secrets. Reveal your fears. Confess your weaknesses. You surrender ammunition without even realizing it. A commander who leaks intelligence does not survive the campaign. Neither will you. You must cultivate unpredictability. A predictable enemy is a defeated enemy. If your rivals know how you will react, they control you. If they know your schedule, your habits, your emotions, they can anticipate and outmaneuver you. Predictability is surrender. You must become erratic, not in chaos but in strategy. Move when least expected. Retreat when they believe you will advance. Advance when they think you are retreating. Keep them uncertain. Keep them unbalanced. Keep them guessing. Confusion is the fog of war, and it must be your ally. Let them stumble in darkness while you see clearly. Predictability is the noose around your neck. Cut it. Understand this. Weakness will always be tested. The moment you reveal softness, the vultures circle. The moment you reveal desperation, the predators strike. You believe in mercy, but mercy is not the natural law. Predators do not spare prey. They exploit it, and so will every rival, every superior, every partner who sees weakness in you. If you want mercy, conceal weakness. Show control even when you bleed. Smile when they expect despair. Stand when they think you are broken. In power, perception is more important than reality. Appear unshaken and they will hesitate. Appear weak and they will swarm. Discipline yourself to never reveal the fracture lines. Build the mask. Wear it until it becomes your armor. This is why I tell you, stop speaking of your pain. Stop confessing your doute. Stop announcing your plans. These are luxuries for children, not for commanders. Your enemy does not need to guess when you willingly hand them your intelligence. You call it honesty. I call it suicide. The battlefield rewards silence, control, deception. Every time you speak, ask, does this strengthen my position or weaken it? If it weakens it, be silent. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is power. Silence forces them to reveal themselves, while you reveal nothing. Silence creates space for maneuver. Silence is the weapon of the strategist. You wonder if you can endure this life of calculation, this endless campaign of perception and deception. You think it exhausting. It is not. It is survival. What is exhausting is weakness serving, obeying, submitting, being used, being discarded. That drains you until nothing remains. Power, though it demands vigilance, sustains you. Power grants freedom. Power allows you to command rather than be commanded. Discipline may weigh heavy at first, but obedience weighs heavier forever. Choose your burden. Command or servitude. Discipline or exploitation. War or slow death. There is no third option. If you remain as you are, the consequences are certain. You will be dominated. You will be maneuvered like infantry sent into slaughter for another's ambition. You will be used as cannon fodder, as expendable resource, as pawn in strategies you do not even see. You will age in obedience. Wake one day realizing your life was not your own, and the battlefield will have consumed you. That is the fate of the naive, the sentimental, the weak. I do not soften it for you. I expose it, because only when you see the abyss can you decide to step back or fall. Now I tell you the choice. Remain a pawn or seize command. Do not tell me you will think about it. Thinking without action is delay, and delay is defeat. Do not tell me you will change tomorrow. Tomorrow is already occupied by your rivals. There is only now. Now you begin, or now you surrender. There is no neutral ground. The battlefield will not wait for your hesitation. It will devour you as it always has. You hesitate because you still want to be liked. You want to be praised, accepted, embraced. But I tell you this, the pursuit of being liked is the death of power. Those who live for approval are controlled by it. Their every move is dictated by the applause of others. Their every choice compromised by the fear of disapproval. They are puppets pulled by invisible strings. You have been one of them. Smiling when you wanted to scowl. Agreeing when you wanted to object. Kneeling when you should have stood. You became a slave to the perceptions of others. And you wonder why you feel powerless. It is because you have given away command of your own image. You must decide. Do you wish to be liked? Or do you wish to command? Rarely can you be both. Love is fragile, conditional, temporary. Fear is enduring, reliable, universal. Machiavellian strategy dictates that when forced to choose, it is safer to be feared than loved. Why? Because fear binds people's actions. Love binds only their feelings, and feelings change with the wind. Fear makes them hesitate before crossing you. Love does not. Fear makes them weigh the cost of betrayal. Love does not. If you want true command, you must ensure that disobedience feels dangerous. Love is a gift. Fear is a weapon. Stop chasing gifts. Arm yourself with weapons. You may resist, saying that fear is cruel. Cruelty is not the point. Control is the point. Fear does not mean brutality. It means authority. It means presence. It means your rivals think twice before testing you. Your allies think twice before abandoning you. Your enemies think twice before attacking you. It is not about sadism. It is about security. Fear without cruelty is discipline. Fear without blood is power. Learn this distinction. Live it, but know this, to command fear, you must command yourself first. If you are undisciplined, impulsive, emotional, your attempts at power will collapse. A general who cannot control himself cannot control an army. You must treat your emotions as soldiers. Anger is useful only when disciplined, released as a weapon at the right moment, not when it bursts uncontrollably. Compassion is useful only when strategic, extended as bait, not when it weakens your defenses. Pride must be kept under guard, for prideful commanders charge into traps. Fear itself must be conquered within you, for how can you command the fear of others if you tremble at shadows? Self-command is the foundation. Without it, every law of power will fail you. You must also master distance. Familiarity breeds contempt. The more accessible you are, the less respect you command. Distance creates value. Absence créate demande. Mystery creates fear. Do not let them think they know you completely. Do not let them handle you as if you are ordinary. Restrict your presence. Appear less often. Speak less often. Withhold yourself so that when you do appear, it feels like an event. A manœuvre, a calculated strike. Commanders ration their troops to preserve strength. You must ration yourself to preserve authority. Be seen less. And when seen, be seen as formidable. Learn to isolate enemies. A general does not face an entire army at once. He divides, isolates, conquers piece by piece. You must do the same. Do not fight all your rivals simultaneously. Separate them. Turn them against each other. Sow distrust in their ranks. Align yourself temporarily with one to weaken the other. Then discard the ally when they outlive their usefulness. This is not betrayal. This is strategy. The battlefield rewards the commander who fights one front at a time. The fool who tries to fight all at once is surrounded and crushed. Divide and rule. Always understand the importance of timing. Impatience is a weakness. Many commanders lose because they attack too soon or retreat too late. Power is not seized by speed but by timing. You must wait until your rival overextends, until their guard drops, until their supply lines thin. Then strike with precision. One well-timed blow is worth 100 frantic charges. Discipline yourself to wait, but prepare relentlessly while you wait. Preparation is invisible. Timing is decisive. Do not mistake inactivity for patience. True patience is active. It is reconnaissance, drilling, fortifying, sharpening. The moment comes only to those who are ready to strike when it does. You must also understand that victory is perception, not reality. You may be weak, yet appear strong. You may lose ground, yet appear to advance. You may be cornered, yet project inevitability. And your enemies, seeing your mask of control, will falter. Wars are won not only by strength of arms, but by strength of perception. When the enemy believes you are invincible, they retreat before the first clash. When your rivals believe you are inevitable, they surrender without resistance. Cultivate this aura. Commanders do not always win because they are strongest. They win because they appear unbreakable. Be unbreakable in appearance. Even when you bleed. Smile. Even when you stagger. March. Even when you are cornered. Look as if you laid the trap yourself. Appearance conquers reality. You think this is manipulation. It is. And what of it? The entire battlefield is manipulation. The banners, the trumpets, the rumors, the displays of strength, all manipulation. War itself is perception, not merely steel. And life is no different. To reject manipulation is to reject power. To embrace manipulation is to master it. Decide. Now I tell you the final truth. Neutrality does not exist. You are either ascending in power or descending into submission. There is no standing still. The battlefield does not allow it. Your rivals maneuver daily. If you are not advancing, you are retreating. If you are not seizing control, someone is seizing control of you. If you are not manipulating, you are being manipulated. You cannot abstain. You cannot hide. Even the choice to avoid power is a choice to surrender it to another. The battlefield consumes all. Pretending you are not in the war does not exempt you from it. It only guarantees you are fodder. Wake up. Choose. The cost of ignoring this is your life not in years, but in ownership. You will live. Yes, but not as commander. You will live under orders, under control, under the ambition of others. You will spend your energy fortifying their castles, supplying their campaigns, securing their crowns, and you will die with the realization that your life was never yours. That is the fate of pawns. That is the fate of the blind. That is the fate of those who prefer comfort to clarity. You stand at that edge now. You can step into command, or you can fall into obedience forever. There is no third path, so I leave you with no comfort, no hope, no warm illusions. I leave you only with the battlefield as it is. You must decide if you will take command of yourself. Discipline your will, sharpen your strategy, and seize power, or if you will return to your chains. Kneel and be forgotten. But know this, the choice cannot be delayed. Every moment you hesitate, you lose ground. Every breath of indecision feeds your enemy. Every day of weakness fortifies their position. Decide now. The war is already here. Remain a pawn or Zeitze command. Choose.